Welcome, adventurers, to another video about Dungeons and Dragons. I've made it no secret over the years that I absolutely love playing me some D&D. Now, a few months back, I delved into Dungeon Meister, an unofficial fantasy-themed tabletop RPG cocktail book. But recently, I've been getting that itch to get back into D&D, not only because the 2024 version of the Player's Handbook has just come out, and I have been reading through it and can't stop thinking about it, but also because recently D&D released another book, Puncheons Flagons, the official D&D cocktail recipe book. You know I had to do something with it, I mean, come on. Before we make our first drink, I should discuss the book a little bit. I think this book is really cool. That being said, I cannot wholeheartedly recommend it to everyone. This is a craft cocktail book through and through. While they do walk you through how to make everything, there is stuff in here with upwards of 12 ingredients, as well as telling you to infuse things for days. So I don't think this is a book for the general public. That being said, when I took this into work, my coworker and I spent the entire shift just flipping through it, being astonished at some of the really fun and cool ideas in here. I cannot oversell that aspect enough. There is a lot of really cool stuff in here. It's just that the average person is not going to want to go to that trouble. They're not going to want to make 17 different kinds of simple syrup. They're not going to want to bother with infusing bourbon with oak for several days. They're not going to want to deal with cooking the different bases, finding the different ingredients. It's just a lot of trouble for the average person. Now, could you find some of this? Could you buy a lavender simple syrup? Probably. But are you going to really want to buy a whole bottle to try one drink? But even then, you're definitely not going to be able to find miso-washed rum, which I am actually going to make for this, so look forward to that. But again, if you're someone who really likes doing cool craft cocktails, really wants to push themselves, this book genuinely is super cool. If you just want the D&D stuff, it's pretty neat, especially if you like liquor, to see where in universe each liquor comes from. The Gilded Horseshoe in whiskey, vodka from the Pink Flump Theater in Waterdeep, rum from the Low Lantern in Baldur's Gate. It's not crazy world-shattering stuff, it's just fun context for everything you're making. Just like how every drink has its own little story about how it got made or why it's named that. Overall, it's a very cool book. If you're curious, it's only like $30. I have been very excited to film this video for days now. So my patience has worn out, and I want to start making some cocktails. So adventurers, let's head to the tavern, grab a drink, and see what's inside Puncheons Flagons. Alright, first up we are going to do the Pegasus, which is actually one of the few drinks in here that doesn't have a picture. So, you can't tell me I made it wrong, because you don't know what it looks like. Why the Pegasus? Quite simply, it's the first one in the whiskey section to use bourbon. And you know how I feel about bourbon. There are a couple others in here. The Harple's Reserve says whiskey or bourbon, and the Lockley also says bourbon. But this is the one that sounded the most exciting to me. For example, the Harple's Reserve is basically just a batch old-fashioned recipe that asks you to use an oak spiral to infuse your bourbon. But if you know your stuff, you could also just easily buy a double oaked bourbon, or there are several bourbons that have already been aged with oak staves. They'll usually say French oaked, American oaked, something like that. Maker's 46 is a good example. So you can cut out that entire part of the process and save yourself 2 days to a full week by simply just knowing what bourbon to buy. Alright, let's get to this. This is not a mixing glass, but it'll have to do because I want you to see what I'm doing. First up, we need some peach slices. Most of the recipes in here are for 2+ cocktails, so I'm going to be telling you the recipe for one, which starts with 2 slices of fresh peach, followed by ½ an ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and about 6 mint leaves. And then we need to muddle that. But I just remembered I left my muddler in Austin. So we're gonna see what else I have to do that. Alright, we're using the end of my bar spoon. Screw it. It is now that I'm remembering that my hands are covered in cuts, and the lemon juice that was thrown all over them does not feel good. And it's taking everything in me not to scream. You will also probably have more success if you have a real muddler. Now we are going to add ½ an ounce of this ginger syrup. Another quick note, if you know how to make simple syrups, which you should because I recently had to make a video about it. Honestly, just kind of do what you would normally do to make an infused simple syrup. I tried following the directions in here, and I more ended up with a ginger and sugar glue caked to the bottom of the pot and less than an ounce of the ginger syrup. See, I just heated up some water and sugar with some ginger in it, let it cool with the ginger in it, and then strained it. So maybe don't follow all of the directions. Again, that might very well have been user error, but I tried to follow this to a T, and it didn't exactly end well. And the syrup I tried to make for the third drink we're gonna do kind of had a similar situation, so I don't know, maybe trust your own instincts more on those. I'm sorry, I just don't think you need to let simple syrup simmer for 10 minutes. And then 2 ounces of bourbon. I'm using this Knob Creek Single Barrel Reserve, mainly because it's 120 proof, and I've had a long day. Add a bit of ice, stir to chill it. Well, that's gonna be real good. Put it in your shaker because you can't fit the strainer on it. Fill a glass with crushed ice. Strain your drink in. It is supposed to be a highball glass. I really need to buy more glasses apparently, but I don't have one, so this will have to do. Then you're gonna add a dash of bitters on top. Garnish with a sprig of mint. And there you have the Pegasus. Oh my God. Oh my gods. That is really freaking good. Where to even start with that? That is sweet. That is southern. That is so good. Somehow it's kind of like Georgia peach sweet tea, but significantly more enjoyable because I don't like tea and I do like this. The peach and the lemon juice make it so sweet while the mint keeps it entirely refreshing. The peach is subtle, but upfront. It is then accentuated by the lemon juice, which is very potent, but brought into check. I forgot the ginger was in here. That's what it is. It is brought into check by the ginger and the mint. Because it's not hot. It's not spicy like you would expect from something with ginger. It's all the beautiful accents of ginger, but without that aggressive flavor that turns so many people off. You can sit outside and watch the sunset as the fireflies come to life, and you will never get tired of pouring yourself another glass of that. Oh my God. I'm sad I didn't make enough for 2. I have failed some kind of charisma saving throw. It has made me at a loss for words. I'll try one last time here. There's no parts to it. I'm trying my hardest. It has become a whole product. You get a little mint at the end. That I was able to parse out, but everything else has slowly blended together to the point where I can't pick out anything. You get a bit of the lemon juice feel, but the ginger takes out the flavor. The peach is there, being pushed up by everything else into balance. It is all just one beautiful, round, sweet, delightful flavor. That is the heart of the South. I don't know what else to tell you. And of course, having that mint sprig right in your nose every time you take a sip is just, oh. I'm gonna make this for my family. The next time I'm playing D&D with my family should be in person. I was trying to figure out what to make. It might just be a picture of this. It is that good. I could drink that all day and all night. That might be one of the best gosh darn things I've made on this channel. Maybe I'm biased right now. I don't know. I've made some good stuff, I like to think. But I gotta hand it to Andrew Wheeler. That's really, really good. All right, I gotta go miso wash some rum. I'll see you in a minute. I need to come clean. I've lied to you. I said that this drink was gonna be third, but then I did the miso washed rum and remembered it needs to sit in the fridge for several hours. So we're gonna do this one now. So this is the Pieglass. I'm pretty sure this is a picture of it right here. We're gonna find out. I closed that and immediately needed to talk about what's inside. For the Pieglass, I actually read this story, and it is pretty cute. It comes from the Yawning Portal, and even though it looks pretty daunting in the amount you're supposed to do, ultimately, most of the second paragraph just is telling you how to make whipped cream. So, you can buy that. What you can't buy, however, is this pumpkin pie syrup, which, as I said in the last section, Oh my god, that smells so good. This one was kind of a pain in the butt to make. I still don't know if I even actually did it right. I tried twice, but in the straining process, it took forever, and I only got this much, so I think I did it right. It certainly smells like I did it right. Otherwise, this drink is fairly simple. We're gonna fill our glass with hard cider. For this, I'm using Woodchuck hard cider, for no other reason than I like it. Then, you're going to add a scoop of ice cream. Fuck! Top with some whipped cream. Honestly, the overflowing's a nice aesthetic effect. And finally, drizzle on a little bit of our pumpkin pie syrup. I know it's spilling everywhere, but that's just beautiful. I love that. I'll wash this bar mat later, it's fine. And then we have our very messy pie glass. Yeah. Oh, that's exactly as good as you think it is. Oh my god. The pumpkin pie syrup, it was low yield, but maybe do follow those instructions. That is so tasty. The hard cider is hard cider, but having to go through the vanilla and the cream and the pumpkin pie, it becomes more than that. It's becoming a mixed drink on the way into your mouth. Like, obviously you're not biting into the ice cream unless you're a sociopath, but it's still there. It's still creamy and delicious. I mean, that is a slice of pumpkin pie and apple pie and a scoop of ice cream. There's those pumpkin pie-esque hints of kind of cinnamon and the creaminess of the ice cream. Really, this section is going to be short because this tastes exactly how you think it does and exactly as good as you think it does. That is a fall drink, man. Have this at Thanksgiving, have this around a fire, have this on Halloween. If you don't like pumpkin pie or hard cider because you're a monster, I guess, then you're not gonna like this. But if you're normal, this is so goddamn good. I need to stop. I still have to do another drink. I'm gonna cut before I make mistakes. And last but not least, this is the Eldritch Storm. Once again, in terms of actually making the drink itself, this is actually a fairly simple one. It's just that the hard part was the miso washed rum. Fat washing rum is a thing, using some butter to get some nice fatty flavors in your dark rum. But to that process, we added some white miso. Why white miso? That's what my grocery had. It says you can use other types of miso for different flavors. Again, that's just what my grocery had. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see what this tastes like real quick. Whoa! Wow! Oh! Wow! Those are flavors. Okay. Oh! I don't even know how to describe that. That was an assault on every sense. Holy shit. It's good. It's just miso and butter and dark rum. It's thick. It's thick in the flavor. Part of it feels like you're eating a pat of butter, but it's miso flavored butter, and then you're chasing it with a shot of dark rum. That's pretty much it. It's just all three of those flavors at once. They're together by technicality. No, that's just all of them at the same time. Let's see how the rest of this drink goes. Also, yes, we are using the Let's Get Shit-Faced in a Little Naughty glass because this is the one time it's actually thematically appropriate, as the rum in this book is from the Low Lantern in Baldur's Gate, which is a permanently docked ship. So, I'm taking the excuse. For this drink, we need ice. As you saw in the picture, this is very delicately layered, so I'm gonna do my best to make this happen. 1/2 ounce of coffee liqueur. We're making this a double because my glass is bigger. So we're gonna do 1 ounce of coffee liqueur. There we go. That'll look right. It might not be fully a double. We're just trying to get it to aesthetically be a double. Followed by, fully add the ginger beer and lime juice to each glass. And finally, half the miso washed rum. I don't think I have enough space for that. We might have filled this up too much. Hold on. It's just lime juice and ginger beer. And we are going to slowly pour in this miso washed rum. That's about half. Oh my gosh, that looks perfect! Ah, I nailed it! And then we will garnish it with a lime wheel and a piece of sliced ginger. And there you have an Eldritch Storm. Yeah, that's... Oh god, that was just all the rum. I'm gonna mix this one up. We saw the beautiful presentation, but I actually need all those flavors. So, in essence, this is actually a take on a dark and stormy, hence the name. We just added coffee liqueur, and our rum was miso washed. Whoa, my God. That's very different. Wow. So all that thickness I was talking about earlier with the miso washed rum, that's there. But it's no longer that overbearing flavor now that it's been mixed up. The ginger beer and the lime bring it back into being much more of a dark and stormy. But there's that hint. There's this dark eldritch hint laying at the bottom. And when you swallow, it comes up and grabs you. And that is that coffee liqueur. It just dominates the flavor right at the end. Oh, hello! The chocolatiness of that coffee liqueur at the end is always this beautiful little treat that it hints at, but it never gives it away right until you swallow, and then it slaps you right in the face. Oh, that's so brilliant. For the most part, that beginning flavor is a dark and stormy. It's the ginger beer, the lime juice, the dark rum. It is this familiar flavor. But as I keep saying, there's something there. There's something you can't taste, but you feel. You feel every part of it. It's laying at the bottom, and it's unsettling in a very interesting way. It is this daunting, threatening thing. Again, this is a pleasant experience, mind you, but it is this daunting, threatening thing sitting at the bottom, waiting for you. And then it swirls together. You get the coffee liqueur at the end that gives way back into the ginger beer. It comes back to the ginger, actually. It's not quite the full dark and stormy. It's that ginger beer, though, that sneaks back in. That miso and butter. It was such a dominating and overbearing flavor before when you were just sipping it on its own. It's a lot. I'll be honest, it's a lot. But once you've mixed it all together, poof, it's gone. It is just giving it this weird ass body that is so different to anything else you drink. Maybe the coffee is a little more present because I used a full ounce. That might have been a me problem. Hazards of using too big of a glass and doing this on the fly. This is an experience of a drink. I do very much enjoy it. Do not get me wrong. But more than that, it is something to make people try. Whether or not they like it, it is such a bizarrely and beautifully, in some ways, off-putting experience that once you give yourself to it, give yourself to its eldritch nature, frees you into enjoying all of the wonderful flavors going on. It's just that it feels so wrong. I talk about bass notes in things. Bourbon has that nice body, that nice bass note. That's why I like to use it in things. Dark rum has a lot of that bass in it. This is beyond. This is the depths of the ocean. The ginger beer and the lime of the typical dark and stormy are fighting at the top of your palate to be normal, but there is just this heavy weight down at the bottom that is resting inside your mouth. Oh, that is so cool. And that was a video on Puncheons and Flagons, the Dungeons & Dragons official cocktail book by Andrew Wheeler. Thank you so much, Andrew. You made some cool stuff. Should you buy the book? I think yes, but I'm me. I love craft cocktail stuff. I find this stuff very fascinating because that's what I do for this channel. That's what I talk to my coworkers about. This is what we think about. We love this kind of stuff. And this book is full of some of the coolest ideas I've seen in a while. Genuinely astonishing and really fun concepts that had all of us going, oh, huh, that'd be really neat. And apparently they fucking are. I need to stop drinking it. I'm gonna get too distracted during this ending. The trouble is, again, I don't see most people going to this amount of trouble for a cocktail or two. There are several larger punch bowl style drinks that I could see the average person trying to do for a party, but that is a significant minority of the drinks in here. Most of the recipes are for like 2, and again, require you making a bunch of stuff, miso washing your rum, making simple syrups, doing a lot of stuff that I just don't see people who aren't really into making craft cocktails already wanting to do. So I don't want you to buy this on my recommendation thinking that it's gonna have pretty much anything easy in it. Just about every single recipe I've looked at is significantly involved. Now, some of it is, again, just here's how to make this kind of infused simple syrup, here's how to make whipped cream, etc. So yes, there's stuff that you could substitute or just buy in a store and not bother actually having to make it. But I would say most of the recipes in here require you to buy some weird things you probably don't have, make some weird stuff you never would have thought of. And I'm fine doing that. But I know a lot of people in my life who would never want to, and that's fine. This is the Dungeon Master's Guide equivalent of a cocktail book. Is it for everyone? Absolutely not. But for those of whom it is for, who are willing to deal with all of its complex rules and ideas, it is an extraordinarily fun and fascinating read. And the drinks are really fucking good. And that's it for me. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, do all of the YouTube things. And while you're down there, why not consider becoming a member, where you will get exclusive videos, early videos, all of my stream VODs. I try very hard to make it worth your while, so I would really appreciate it if you considered doing so. And if not, that's fine. Just liking, commenting, subscribing, and especially sharing this with everyone you know who loves cocktails, who loves Dungeons & Dragons, who loves, I don't know, guys wearing flannel. Just share the video. And while I will never show you everything in this book because I do consider that theft, I would absolutely be willing to do another video or two on it because it has blown me away and I just want to drink these anyway. So, please let me know down below if you want me to do that. Please let me know if you want me to talk more about Dungeons & Dragons in general. Want me to make original D&D drinks? Want me to make drinks based on any other tabletop RPG or video game or anime or show or movie or whatever? Just let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's the end of the video.